right, we're going to veer a little bit away from the stock market, but not too far when we come back to talk sports economy. Minnesota Timberwolves owner Glen Taylor, but also still stocks too, because he's the source of a big rally in a medical devices company over the last couple of weeks. We'll talk about it all next. Welcome back to the SCHWAB Network. Glen Taylor is the billionaire founder of Taylor Corporation and owner and governor of the Minnesota Timberwolves, here to talk sports, ownership, and investing with us. Glen, thanks so much for being here on the SCHWAB Network this morning. Appreciate you joining.
My pleasure.
Let's start off by talking sports. Definitely want to talk about the way you've been moving the stock market lately and the hearing aid business. But let's go to the ownership dilution after last year's sale for Mark Cuban as well. Is there a trend here in single ownership of NBA teams breaking up? What do you think's going on?
Well, what's happening is the value of these teams has risen so greatly that it's difficult for one individual to own them. So it's they brought in equity groups, and we brought in partnerships, and that's been a major change. I mean, when I bought it back in the 90s, I was in a position where I bought the team solely for $88 million, and I was able to do that.
Is it a valuation call, essentially, like a trader might trade a stock thinking that the run is as good as it's going to get, or is it just too big a chunk to handle?
Well, it's probably both of those. I think you're right in both of those. There's the big change, but in just being practical, there's certain individuals that have the wherewithal to purchase a team, but not a lot.
Does it change the operational abilities at all? Does it, if there's too many cooks in the kitchen, does it change any of the functioning of owning the team?
No, the NBA has been very wise in that area, and that they've set up so there can only be one majority owner. One person can call the shots, so people can own significant amounts, but they have to defer to this one individual. That's a position I've held in the last 30 years.
When you look at the role of TV and the way that TV has changed, the way we consume sports, there's been so many big streaming deals the last year. Do you have a clear picture of what that's going to look like a year ago? Is there any way to, a year ahead, like can we predict where we're going to be watching every game now? It seems like there's so many options and it changes so regularly.
Well, there's no question that the TV or media sort of runs the leagues, in the sense that they pick the games, they pick the times. I mean, we started the other night in Minnesota at 9 o'clock at night, because that's when the TV wanted to air it. So they provide so much of the financing. They have a big say in what happens, and the length of the game we look at and try to speed it up to get it within the 2-hour time frame that they want. So they certainly have a big call.
The sports industry has obviously been the beneficiary generally, with the NBA getting huge lifts in their contracts for broadcasting. Seems like that's largely a result of so much competitive energy. Each streaming service needs to make sure they've got something to offer in this realm, so they're willing to bid it up. Do you think that pace can continue in terms of the general rise in contract prices?
Well, I'm sort of like you. You kind of wonder if it can continue. Do we go, just because of competition, get into an area where it's not profitable and then things fall apart? I don't know the answer to your question. I have the same concerns that you have, that you can get to a point where it just doesn't make sense any longer.
I want to also ask you about the growth of WNBA, given the ownership of the Lynx. So what type of economic growth, what type of market growth do you think is in that business right now?
Well, I think what's happening in the colleges with these elite players that are coming along,
right,
there's just getting a bigger fan base than we had previously. This Clark girl from Iowa certainly has stirred up interest again. So we, as I run it, I work directly with the coach general manager on the Lynx team. We believe that it's important that we provide a good product on the court, and if we do, we will get the fan base, and then we're looking at the TV rights to increase.
Okay. Definitely want to talk your passion for investing and a business whose stock just went berserk the last few weeks. Glenn, Envoy Medical, I know this is something you feel very passionately about. You just extended a big loan facility to this business. It was a stock that debuted in the market last year, kind of was stuck for a while, and then is up 700% in the past couple months. You've got a $10 million term financing deal that you've set up. Tell us the details about that and why you're so involved in this.
Well, it's a product that we've been working on, and I've made a considerable investment in it. It's called a cochlear device, which cochlear devices have been around for a long time. The difference is what we did in this product is have a cochlear device that's all fits internally within the body. The difference of that means that at sleep time, you don't have to take it out. You can go in the water, take a shower, take swimming, do all of those and keep the device inside. There's never been anything quite like that before. And so I've been privately financing it, but we went public, as you know, back 6 months ago, and hadn't done too much until we started just marketing it lately. But I think it's a product that someday will be worth a lot, and we'll have I know we'll have thousands of people waiting to get it, to get the operations that's needed. We're working with Mayo here in Rochester, Minnesota. I mean, we're working with the very best doctors in the world on this product, so we feel really comfortable of its safety and its helpfulness to people in the future.
From what I see, his latest filings, you own about 52% of the shares. Correct me if I'm wrong. Why the injection of the money through the term debt deal? There's no conversion to stock option here. Why did you choose that structure?
Well, I just believe in the company, and right now we've got to do another group of people to prove that it works in the long run. And rather than to put the company in a position where they're out sort of like, let's just say, begging for the money, I thought the investors, if they knew that I was behind it and I'm going to pay enough money to make sure that the company continues on for the next couple of years while we complete all the operations, etc., I thought this would be helpful. I'm not worried that if it goes otherwise, people want to invest and put their money into the company, that I'll get my money back immediately. So to me, it was a wise investment.
Okay. And you mentioned the next trials. What's the next thing we should be looking for here as investors on the company's timeline for the product?
Right now, we've done, 3 people at Rochester and at Mayo for a year. They've been out, and that has worked really good. The next one is we move it to 25 patients and probably get 5 different doctors involved. We know which doctors they are. They are the lead doctors in the United States. They're on our advisory board, so they know the product. They've been with us for a while. But let each one of those 5 operate on 5 different people, and then test that out for 6 months, and making sure that the government approves of our product.
All right, well, we'll be definitely paying closer attention to it going forward. More people know about it now. Thanks for your time, Mr. Taylor. Appreciate you joining us.
Thank you, Will. Thank you.
Absolutely. Glen Taylor, the founder of the Taylor Corporation, 52% owner, and COCH, the ticker, by the way, for Envoy Medical. Huge rally, 700%, and looking for more to come. All right, Glen Taylor, when we come back.